The power of silence, the master's secret. The world is suffering from a plague of noise. Everywhere you look, someone is screaming for attention, broadcasting their every move, and bragging about battles they haven't even fought yet. They trade their potential for a moment of social validation. They leak their power through their lips. But notice the master of the forge. He doesn't speak until the blade is finished. He doesn't explain the heat, the sweat, or the pain. He lets the steel speak for him. Why? Because the 1% know a secret that the 99% will never understand. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of absolute power. It is the ultimate weapon of the disciplined mind. Think about the energy it takes to maintain a reputation. Think about the exhaustion of constantly explaining yourself to people who don't even care about your success. Every word you utter to justify your existence is a drop of fuel taken away from your engine of progress. While the average man is busy building a facade of success with his tongue, the master is in the shadows, tempering his soul, sharpening his skills, and letting his results accumulate in the dark. Silence is the container of greatness. Without it, your ambition evaporates before it can ever turn into reality. When you speak about your plans, you are performing a slow-motion suicide of your ambition. Modern psychology confirms what the ancients always knew. Every time you reveal your goals to the world before they are achieved, your brain receives a hit of dopamine. It feels the satisfaction of the win without doing the work. You become soft. You become satisfied. You lose the primal hunger required to execute at a high level. You are literally talking yourself out of your own success. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, was blunt about this. Be silent for the most part, or, if you speak, say only what is necessary and in few words. Let your philosophy be seen in your actions, not heard in your chatter. If you are one of the few who values wisdom over noise, who understands that a quiet room is a powerful room, you belong here in this forge. Subscribe to the 1% Habit now. This is where we build in the dark so we can shine in the light. Join those who are rebuilding their attention, their discipline, and their lives in silence. Do not just be a spectator of greatness. Become part of the 1%. Click the button and commit to the silence. Look at history's most formidable figures. In a negotiation, the one who speaks less always wins. Why? Because silence creates a vacuum that the weak feel a desperate need to fill. They get nervous. They reveal their hand. They give away their secrets. But the man of silence is a fortress. He observes what others miss. He hears the hesitation in a voice. He sees the fear in an eye. Silence allows you to become a predator of information instead of a victim of your own ego. It is the violence of focus applied to your social presence. It is the shield that protects your internal fire from being extinguished by the opinions of the mediocre. The discipline of silence is not just about keeping your mouth shut. It is about keeping your mind still. In the silence, you finally hear the truth. You hear the weaknesses you've been ignoring. You hear the solutions that the noise of the world has been drowning out. The 1% use silence as a laboratory for self-correction. They don't need the applause of the crowd to know they are on the right path. They have an internal compass that only works when the external noise is turned off. If you cannot stand to be alone in silence with your own thoughts, you will never be strong enough to lead others. Most people use their words to hide their insecurities. They boast because they are afraid they aren't enough. They complain because they want pity. But the 1% have no need for pity or hollow praise. They know that a life lived loudly is a life lived for others. A life lived in silence is a life lived for the mission. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that we have power over our minds, not outside events. To master the mind, you must first master the tongue. If you cannot control the small muscle in your mouth, you will never control the massive destiny that awaits you. Consider the economy of attention. In a world where everyone is selling their soul for a like, the man who remains unreachable is the man who becomes undeniable. Your words are a currency. If you print too much of it, the value drops to zero. But if your words are rare, if they are backed by the gold of your actions, people will stop and listen when you finally decide to speak. The 1% don't participate in the gossip, the drama, or the endless debates of the internet. They stay in the forge. They keep their heads down. They understand that every second spent talking about someone else is a second stolen from their own empire. Imagine the power of a man who cannot be provoked into speaking. Imagine the intimidation felt by those who try to distract you, only to be met with the cold, hard stare of a man who knows exactly where he is going. Silence is a filter. It keeps the foolish away and attracts the wise. It signals that you are not for sale. It signals that your attention is expensive. In an era where everyone is selling themselves for likes and views, the man who remains silent and focused is the most valuable asset in the room. Your challenge today is a form of spiritual warfare. For the next 24 hours, I want you to practice a word fast. Do not complain about the weather. Do not brag about your workout. Do not reveal your next business move. Do not defend yourself against petty insults. Let the world think you are losing. Let them think you have nothing to say. While they are busy talking, you are busy building. Work until the results make a noise so loud that the whole world has no choice but to listen. This is the path of the master. It is lonely, it is quiet, and it is the only path that leads to the top of the mountain. You were not born to be a noise in the background of someone else's life. You were born to be the silence that precedes a storm of achievement. Every great empire was first a silent thought. Every great masterpiece was finished in a quiet room. Stop leaking your potential. Close your mouth, open your eyes, and get back to the forge. If this message reached you at the exact moment you were about to give up your power to the noise, leave the word silence in the comments below. It is our secret signal, the mark of those who are working in the forge while others sleep. Master your tongue, master your focus, master your life. The forge is always open for those who choose the quiet path. I will see you in the next lesson.